So I'm starting my day, well, actually I started my day 2 hours ago. It's about 7 a.m. and I started probably about 5. I woke up a little after 4 and got out on the road. You know, one of the things that we were talking about yesterday at the Church of St. Peter, where we met Gunther, was just how grateful we should be for the beauty that we have around us. If you see behind me is a beach that the Camino takes me right next to. You know, for those of us who live on Cape Cod, beaches are sort of omnipresent and yet often undervalued, or at least unappreciated. Being on the Camino is a way of poverty. You know, in the Beatitudes it says, "Blessed are the poor," not because it's particularly good to be, you know, sort of destitute, desperate for things, but because when you are poor, at least poor in spirit particularly, you realize how much everything is to be valued. Well, yesterday I think I made a 30-kilometer drive, which probably would have taken me 20 minutes in a car, but I did it by foot, and it was a long, hard day. It was enjoyable, of course, and yet we take for granted our ability to get around places. We take it for granted our ability to be in relative comfort. And of course, on the flip side of that, the relative comfort causes us to take for granted the beauty around us. How often do we zoom by beautiful vistas without really thinking about them and really appreciating them? So, you know, like on the Camino, you have to carry pretty much everything you have. There's everything I have, my cassock and everything on my back, and so you know, have to really start to appreciate, you know, the things that you have, and of course you can't take too many, otherwise it'll load you down. Right now my pack's at about 10 kilos, which is about 22 pounds, which is about just where I want it to be. It might be a little bit lighter because I've been eating some of my stock. I have a little food in there, so it's been getting a little bit lighter, ditching some stuff that I don't need along the way. Yeah, I mean, you know, you take for granted a bed over your head. Last night we stayed at a hostel, or I stayed at a hostel. It was just €6. People are very good here to the pilgrims who pass through. You know, it kept me warm, and for many people they don't have that. I mean, and for many people €6 every night would be too much. Isn't that sad? You know, like, if that's what it takes. We also take for granted, you know, again, the fact that we have like rooms to ourselves, the fact that we have like houses to ourselves. That can also be a good and a bad thing. You know, first of all, we take it for granted in that it's a blessing and that there are inconveniences that we avoid by having it. But also yesterday, I told you a little bit at Church of St. Peter about meeting Jules, and there was a whole gaggle of people. Davide from Iceland, and Peter from Germany, and Annabelle from Germany, Giuseppe from Italy, Darren from Australia. So there was a whole gaggle of people, and we were sitting around the table and enjoying each other and commiserating because we all had suffered together on the Camino, and it was really a great fellowship that we shared, and that's a fellowship that often we can lose in our very private, individualistic lives, you know, with high fences and big lawns and houses and rooms to ourselves, and we put on our cell phones and put our earbuds in, and we sort of zone out from everyone else, and you know, that causes us, first of all, not to appreciate the fact that other people are there, but also appreciate the fact that they really are a blessing. They're not just an occasional cross, which they are. Anyway, today's the Feast of Our Lady of Sorrows. Looking for a place to say Mass. Still hasn't found one because nothing's open yet. I really would like a coffee, but none of the bars open until about 9 o'clock. So I'm going to have to go without for another 2 hours. Something else I appreciate about the United States. Alrighty, we'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.